For the best liberty-oriented talk 24/7, visit LRN.FM.
Frank Szabo, who's running for Hillsborough County Sheriff, correct?
Yes.
And, we've been talking a lot over the years about this idea of getting libertarians all in one town. Of course, you're talking about a county in this case, but how do you think this concept of you running in, for sheriff ties in with that concept?
Well, I think that everybody has a right to live where they want to live and how they want to live. And if they want to form a town around the idea of freedom and liberty, that's basically what the country's all about. That's what it was founded on.
Well, he says he's getting ready to go.
I'm sorry. What separates you from your opponent?
Well, I understand what the Office of the Sheriff is all about. The Office of the Sheriff has always been there to protect the rights and the property of the citizens, and it's not about protecting the government first. And the current sheriff basically is demonstrating that he's an officer of the court and doesn't understand that the office of sheriff is there to protect the people.
What would you say your chances are?
I think my chances are excellent. I'm getting out, talking to people. All the groups that I've spoken with, the response has been very well received, and people are just not aware of the true authority of the sheriff, and it's my job to get out there and let people know what it's about.
Are you technically a Free Stater?
I basically found out about moving to New Hampshire through the Free State Project. I moved up here to start an organic farm as a CSA, and there were a lot of advantages that I saw to moving up here. But the Free State Project basically got me interested in New Hampshire.
Nice. As a practical matter, what do you think you would probably end up having to do if you were, facing down higher authorities, as sheriffs often are expected to do?
Well, a lot of people are not aware of the authority of the sheriff, and there's a lot of court cases, specifically a Supreme Court case involving Sheriff Mack, that documented the fact that the sheriff is the highest law enforcement officer of the county, and federal agencies do not have authority unless the sheriff allows them into the county. So one of the first things I would do if I were elected was to put the federal government on notice. If they want to have any kind of involvement in Hillsborough County, they have to go through the office of the sheriff first.
What kind of intimidation do you expect?
Oh, well, they're going to intimidate all they want, but again, the bottom line is that the sheriff has the authority, and they either abide by that directive from the sheriff, or they either end up in county jail or they leave.
I don't know how much you know about all the other different types of elections that you can run for in New Hampshire, but how do you think running for sheriff as a liberty activist sort of is different from running for other positions? It hasn't been done very much.
Well, no. Again, I think most people are not aware of the true authority and responsibility of the sheriff, the county sheriff, and I think the authority that they have is truly awesome, and I really believe that a constitutional county sheriff can help to restore the republic, county by county basis.
What would you say would be the implications in terms of, people who, all over the country thinking about moving to New Hampshire? What would be the implications as to where they should move if you were to win?
Well, I think that if people see what the county sheriff can do and the kind of corruption that the county sheriff can stop, I think people will pay more attention and consider moving to Hillsborough County.
Do you have any kind of experience with law enforcement?
No, actually, I have not been indoctrinated into the status quo, and most people assume that the sheriff has to be either with a military background or police background, and unfortunately what happens is...
You're threatening, sir. If we go inside, take the equipment. But I am concerned. He's going to take your freedom, too.
So a lot of times they're simply indoctrinated into automatically assuming that someone of higher authority is correct. And my perspective is if a public official tells me to jump, I'm going to ask why, not how high.
All right. Frank Szabo, good luck out there.
Thank you very much, Dave.
No, can't do that.
Federal agents on the streets of Keene, New Hampshire. They're investigating reports of an unlicensed radio station said to be broadcasting LRN.FM. So why all the fuss? What is LRN.FM? Well, it's probably not something these agents want you to listen to. It's a 24-hour news talk broadcast, all pro-liberty. A true authoritarian-free zone. Tune in at LRN.FM. to listen or broadcast their signal. LRN.FM. Feds don't want you to hear them.